Adventure motorcycles have become increasingly popular in India of late, and none more so than the Triumph Tiger 800. However, Ducati would now like to change that with the introduction of the very competitively priced Multistrada 950. So, which is the bike for you? The new Multistrada 950 is a road-biased adventure bike with a 19-inch alloy wheel in front and a 17-inch alloy at the rear. While Triumph offers different variants of the Tiger, Ducati sells just one version, and the Tiger 800 XRX is its closest rival. As of now, these are the two choices at this price point if you're looking for a mid-sized, road-focused adventure touring machine. So, we decided to have a little adventure of our own down the Maharashtra coastline to give you a better understanding of what these bikes offer. But first, let's take a look at the different approach each one takes to design. True to its Italian heritage, the Multistrada 950 is a very good looking machine, and it shares the same design as the larger Multistrada 1200. The face is characterized by a striking Panigale inspired headlamp, which resides above an ADV style beak. Unlike the full LED headlamp on the 1200, the Multistrada 950 makes do with halogens, as does the Triumph. The Ducati's enormous tank section looks intimidating, but it actually feels surprisingly slim between the legs and is easy to hold on to. The rear section gets a very clean and minimal effect, complemented by a lovely LED tail lamp. An ultra slim design for the exhaust is another eye-catcher. Facing the rider is a large, fully digital display, but it isn't a color screen like in the Multistrada 1200. The display is very informative and easy to control via switches on the left side of the handlebar. Overall, the handsome Multistrada not only looks bigger and taller than the Tiger, but it feels it from the saddle as well and is better suited for taller riders. The Triumph design is instantly recognizable by its large bug-eyed headlamp and comprehensive fuel tank. Its large exhaust is mounted quite high, giving it the ability to wade through deep water. The digital screen and large analog tachometer look simple but are easy to read on the go. Unlike the Ducati, the Triumph's windscreen can't be adjusted on the go, and you need to adjust it by loosening the knobs on both sides. That said, we found it more practical than the Ducati's tall screen, which tends to block a lot of air in our hot environment and also gets quite hard to look through once it gets dirty. Unlike the stylish Ducati, Triumph prioritizes function over form, and the exposed tubing that makes up the rear subframe gives this bike an almost industrial and purposeful look that suits its intended role quite well. Now, for long journeys and a bit of adventure, one has to spend a long time in the saddle. The Tiger has a very comfortable and neutral seating position. The seat is at a very friendly level, the handlebars at a comfortable position, and the foot pegs are just right, not too far forward or rear or high up. The Ducati meanwhile has a higher seat, higher and wider handlebars, and the foot pegs are slightly rear set. Now this puts the Ducati rider in a more committed and focused riding position, but doesn't sacrifice on comfort. The Multistrada 950 borrows its engine from the Hypermotard 939, and it's a serious performer with 113 horsepower and 96 Nm of torque. Ride-by-wire technology gives the throttle a very smooth action, which makes it friendly to use. The 6-speed gearbox has wider spacing between the gears, which means the Ducati is constantly running a gear or two lower than the Triumph at the same speed. Combine that with the larger engine size, and the Ducati has a bigger thirst for fuel. While we're talking gears, it must be mentioned that the gearbox is precise but requires firmer effort to shift, and you do have to change gears more often. So while outright performance is thrilling, the story is a bit different when you hit heavy city traffic. As with most large V-twins, this engine runs quite hot in traffic, and while the cooling system ensures it never overheats, it can get quite uncomfortable if you're stuck in a traffic jam. When comparing the two, Ducati's V-twin engine displaces about 140cc more and thereby offers about 20% higher power and torque.
Now this engine doesn't like low revs so much, but anything upwards of 3000 RPM comes with a mean punch, and boy do you feel the difference.
The Tiger, on the other hand, has no issue with the lower revs.
Triumph's 800cc inline 3-cylinder engine is renowned for its smoothness and low-end tractability, which allows you to carry low speeds in high gears with complete ease.
Even though our test bike had clocked over 26,000 kilometers, it felt as good as new. With 95 horsepower and 78 Nm, in this comparison the Tiger is a bit down on par, but it compensates with a free revving nature and an exciting top end. You'll be happy to know that despite having a smaller fuel tank, the Triumph consistently consumes less fuel and therefore has a longer range. Keeping things effortless on the open road is an extremely slick gearbox, which allows smooth and easy clutchless shifts. Clutch action is also a bit lighter than the Ducati, and while the engine generates a fair amount of heat, it still runs cooler than the Multistrada. When you consider all these points and the lower seat height, the Tiger proves to be easier to ride slowly in heavy traffic or in tricky conditions. The Multistrada's powerful engine matches its on-road dynamics. This bike is a thriller on good roads, offering strong braking performance, great stability through the bends, and a surprising amount of traction exiting corners hard on the gas. If anything, the Multistrada feels like a big sports bike on stilts, and it loves to play when the roads begin to twist. With 170 mm of suspension travel, the Multistrada is also capable of handling broken surfaces well. The fully adjustable suspension may allow you to improve the ride even more, but on the stock settings it does have a firm feel that requires you to stand on the pegs and ride it through. Overall, the Multistrada can handle the worst our roads can throw at it, but just not with the same plush feel as the Tiger. The Tiger XRX on the other hand has non-adjustable front forks and only offers preload adjustability for the rear, but the setup works beautifully on poor surfaces. It can soak up whatever comes its way with surprising ease, making it the better companion on broken or non-existent roads. The soft brake bite makes it good off-road, but on tarmac performance is just about adequate. Also, compared with the Multistrada on a smooth mountain road, it just can't keep up. But the tractable engine and great suspension comfort make the Tiger the more effortless long-distance machine. And while it takes on winding roads with confidence, its narrow tires don't offer the same level of feel and traction as the Multistrada. Both these bikes get switchable ABS and traction control systems as well as riding modes. The Tiger has 3 riding modes while the Ducati offers 4. Ducati takes it a step further by offering 8 levels of adjustability for the traction control and 3 levels for ABS. Meanwhile, the Triumph simply lets you turn the systems on or off. The Multistrada also has a low power mode that reduces output to 75 horsepower, making it more manageable off-road or in urban conditions if the rider desires. Not to be outdone, the Tiger claws back some ground with its cruise control feature. At Rs 12.13 lakh ex-showroom, the Tiger is more affordable by around Rs 70,000, but the Ducati provides more kit for the extra cash.
These two motorcycles offer a very different riding experience. The Ducati loves fast and winding roads, but it can also handle any manner of poor surfaces that come its way. If you plan to keep your touring to the road, the Ducati will make a very exciting machine. However, the Tiger has an ability to soak up poor, broken, and even non-existent roads in a way that Ducati just can't manage. It also happens to be a fantastically capable long-distance machine. Ultimately, the Tiger is just more adventure ready.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/etnow.